Hello, future travelers. Welcome back to Legalopolis. Today, we are breaking down one of the most confusing but most important topics in US immigration, and that is the types of US visas. Whether you want to study, work, visit, or live permanently in America, you fall in a specific visa category. In this video, I'll explain what a visa is, the difference between immigrant and non-immigrant visas, and then we will go through the most commonly used visa types with some examples. And so, let's get started. First off, what is a US visa? A US visa is an official stamp or sticker placed inside your passport by a US embassy or consulate. It allows you to travel to a port of entry, like an airport or a land border, and ask the immigration officer for permission to enter the United States. Now, it's important to know here that a visa does not guarantee entry into the United States. The final decision is made by the CBP, that is Customs and Border Protection officers at the border. Number 3, once you enter the United States, your immigration status is handled by USCIS. Number 4, US visas are issued by the Department of State. And number 5, some travelers can enter the US without a visa through the visa waiver program if they meet all requirements. So you could think of visa as the key that gets you to the door, but the CBP officer decides if you can use that key to open the door. Now let's look at the two main categories of US visa. Friends, the US visa system looks complex, but it becomes quite simple when you divide it into two categories, which are immigrant and non-immigrant visas. Immigrant visas, these are the visas for short-term visits like tourism, study, work, exchange program, medical treatment, or business. And here, you must show strong ties to your home country and proof that you will leave after your stay. So here the stay is for a temporary span of time. Then comes immigrant visas, which are also the permanent stay visas. Now, these are for people who want to live permanently in the United States. Once admitted, you receive a green card and can eventually apply for US citizenship. Now, friends, you'll be surprised to know there are around 185 specific types of visas within both these categories, each for different purposes. But for this video, we'll cover the most important and widely used ones. Now let's look at the different types of visas. First off, let's go on with the non-immigrant visa. The first type of visa under this category is the visitor visa, that is B1, B2. Now these are the world's most common US visas. B1 is for business, as you are aware of. It's for activities like attending meetings or conferences, negotiating contracts, short-term training, or handling estates or company affairs. Then comes B2. B2 visa is for tourism or for medical purposes. That is, if you want to come for a vacation, to visit your family or friends, for a medical treatment, or say you want to attend family events like a wedding or your child or relative's graduation ceremony. Now, the key requirement here is that you must prove that you will return back to your home country, and you could use job ties, property, family, and financial standing as evidence to prove your intent. Then comes the student visas, the F and the M category. F1 visa is basically for academic purposes. It's for students who want to attend universities and colleges, want to go to high school, language schools, or conservatoires. And here, you must show admission to a SEVP approved school, your financial ability to support yourself here in the United States, your intent to return home, and you should have English proficiency, or you must enroll in a program to improve your English. The M1 visa is for vocational purposes. It's for non-academic programs like technical training, mechanical courses, or say coding boot camps, culinary schools, aviation training, etc. And so to summarize, F visas are for academic purposes and M visas are for hands-on job skill programs. Then comes the third category under the non-immigrant visa, which is the temporary worker visa. Under this category, of course, we all know the H-1B program, which is for specialty occupation. It's for professional jobs that require at least a bachelor's degree. Common fields are generally IT, engineering, finance, healthcare, architecture, etc. And here, the employer must file Form I-129 and the job must match your degree. And as most of you are aware, the Trump administration has introduced a new $100,000 supplemental fee for certain new H-1B petitions. If you want a clear, simple explanation of who must pay this fee, who is exempt, and how it works, I've made a full video on it. Check it out, the link is in the description box. Then comes the H-2A and H-2B seasonal worker. The H-2A visa is for agricultural workers and H-2B is for seasonal non-agricultural workers like hotel staff, landscaping, resorts, etc. These help US employers fill the temporary labor gaps. Then comes the L1 visa. The L1 visa is also known as the intra-company transfers. This visa is for employees transferring from a foreign office to a US office. There are basically two categories under the L1 category, L1A and L1B. L1A is for executives and managers, and L1B is for specialized knowledge employees. This visa type is most commonly used by multinational companies. Then comes the O1 visa. O1 visa is for people with extraordinary ability and exceptional talent in arts, athletics, science, education, business, etc. Some of the examples would be actors, top-level researchers, Olympic-level athletes. They all can apply for an O1 visa. Then comes the P visa. P visa is basically for performers and athletes like musicians, entertainment groups, international athletes, circus performers. So this visa is often issued to teams or groups who want to come to the United States and perform. Then comes the Q1 visa. The Q1 visa is also known as the Cultural Exchange Visa. This visa is for participants in approved cultural exchange programs that share history, culture, or traditions. Then comes the exchange visitors, that is J1 visa. Now, this visa covers dozens of programs including au pair, interns, teachers, researchers, university exchange students, medical trainees, summer work, and travel. And it is a requirement that some categories of J1 holders must return home for at least 2 years before they can apply for certain other visas. Then comes the e-visas, that is treaty traders and investors. Now, this visa is available only to nationals of countries who have treaties with the United States. So, E1 visa is the treaty trader visa. That is, it is for businesses engaged in substantial trade with the United States. And E2 visa is the treaty investor visa. That is, it is for individuals investing a significant amount of money in the United States businesses. It's quite popular among entrepreneurs and small business owners. Then comes the K visas. The K visas are the relationship-based visas. K1 is your fiancé visa, which allows a foreign fiancé of a US citizen to come to the US, marry within 90 days, and then apply for a green card. K3 visa is the spouse visa. It is for spouses of US citizens whose immigrant petitions are still pending. Friends, there are other special non-immigrant visas such as A visas, which is for diplomats. G visas is for employees of international organizations like the United Nations. I visas, which are for journalists and the media. R visas are for religious workers. T and U visas are for victims of trafficking and crimes who assist law enforcement. S visas are for witnesses with critical information for US investigations. V visas are for certain family members of green card holders. These categories are more specialized but still very important. Now, friends, let's look at immigrant visas. These visas lead to a green card, allowing you to live and work in the United States permanently. The first category under this visa type is family based immigration. Now, US immigration law strongly supports family unity. The main groups which are included are immediate relatives, and there's no annual limit on it. That is, spouses of US citizens, unmarried children under 21, parents of US citizens who are 21 years age and above. Then comes the family preference categories, which have annual limits. Number 1, unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens, spouses and children of green card holders, married sons and daughters of US citizens, and siblings of US citizens. Now, this is one of the largest immigrant visa groups in the US. Then comes employment based immigration, that is EB1 to EB5. Now, EB1 is for priority workers, which includes extraordinary ability individuals, outstanding professors and researchers, and multinational executives. EB2 requires a master's degree or equivalent or a national interest waiver. Then comes EB3. This is for skilled and unskilled workers. It is for workers with at least 2 years of experience or jobs requiring less experience. Then comes EB4. EB4 is for special immigrants like religious workers, certain minors, broadcasters, etc. And EB5. This is for investors, foreign investors who put money into the United States business to create jobs. Then comes another category, which is the diversity visa, that is DV lottery. Now, the diversity visa category is basically providing visas to people from countries with historically low immigration to the United States. What it requires is generally a high school education or 2 years of qualifying work experience. Then comes the special immigrant visas. These are mainly for Afghans and Iraqis who worked with the US government or military. Then comes the returning resident visa, that is SB1. Now, this visa is for green card holders who stayed outside of the United States for more than 1 year due to reasons beyond their rights. But friends, then the question arises, which visa is best for you? Now, every US visa is built on intent, either temporary or permanent. Once you identify your purpose and intent, the correct visa becomes crystal clear. So ask yourself these 5 questions, and based on the answers you receive, you'll be able to decide which visa is best suited for you. The first question is, why am I going? Are you going there to study, to work, to visit, for marriage, whatever might be the reason? Second, is it a temporary or a permanent reason? That is, if you want to stay there for a temporary period of time or you want to settle down in the United States. Number 3, do I meet the eligibility criteria? Fourth, if you are applying for a work visa, is my employer supporting me? And number 5, does my country qualify for some special categories of visas like e-visas or DV lottery? So once you have answered these questions, you will be able to decide which visa category is best suited for you. Choosing the correct visa is crucial because each visa has its own specific rules, documents, and limits on the duration of stay, and also limits on what you can and cannot do in the US while you are on that visa. And so friends, here's a quick recap. A US visa lets you travel to the border of United States and request entry into the United States. It does not give you the right to enter US. Non-immigrant visas are for temporary stay or short-term stay, and immigrant visas are for permanent stay, that is green card. The most popular visa categories are B1, B2, F1, H1B, L1, O1, J1, K1, and the EB family of immigration. And I'm sure you would be aware that family based and employment based immigration makes up for the majority of green cards in the United States. So, friends, I hope this video was helpful in making you understand the different kinds of visas. If you want a deep dive video on any specific visa category, do let me know in the comment way. I wish you all the very best in your visa selection process, and until I see you in the next video, safe travels!